Harihi Om. Shruti Smriti Purananamayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatada Shankaram. Om Namo Bhagavate Ramanaya. Sapratyayah kinnu vihaya santam hridyesha chintarahito hrudakyah katham smaramastamameyamekam tasya smrutistatra drudhaiva nishtha. See, there is an advice given to the seekers to think about God. It is said like that. Ishvara Smaranam or Bhagavan ka Smaran karo. Like that they advise. It's a good advice, you know. Otherwise, if you don't think of the real, the truth, another name for God, then you will think of what else? There is only another option, only two things. Either you think of Ishvara or you think of the Jagat. There is no third. Myself included in the Jagat. Okay? So, myself in the context of Jagat or Jagat in the context of myself. That is how we will be thinking. Or you stop this Jagat myself thinking for God's sake and think of God for some time. Think of God. That will liberate you. Like that the advice is given. It is a very good advice. And in fact, that is how bhakti is presented by many Mahatmas and all that. But in the context of Atma Jnanam, how can you think of Atma? Vijñātāramare kena vijāniyāt. You have to think with the mind, because mind is the instrument of thinking. There is a process called meditation, and the mind is the machine which executes the process of meditation. And therefore, you have to think means you have to use the mind and think. Think of Atma or Brahman. That is not possible, you know, because it is like this is a pair of tongs and I am operating it with the hand, and this is a standard example. So while operating it, I can hold this, or I can hold this paper, I can hold this, or I can even hold the nose. So I can hold Sajid's nose also. Okay. I can do any of those things. But I cannot hold the hand which operates the pair of tongues. Similarly, the light of awareness, the Atma Chaitanyam, the light of awareness, that is the inner light. Okay? It enters the mental space. There is the mental Chittakasha, the mental space. Why do you call mental space? Because everything is in the mind, you know, everything is in the mind. Like the room space, because everything is in the room. Hall space, because everybody is in the hall. Mental space, because everything is in the mind. And suppose there is the room and everything is in the room, but there is no light. Now there is no room, there are no things. Right? Suppose there is some light enters. Now there is a room and there are things in it. That light, you know. So the light of awareness enters the mental space. Okay? Now, what is this light? Light of awareness. It is something like asking the question, here is the light by which we are able to see everything, and what is that light? That question nobody asks, because people are busy with the things that appear in the light. They start counting the things and they then divide the things which are good, which are not good, which are favorable to me, which are not, which are worth keeping, which are worth throwing out, which are worthless to be thrown out. So people are busy with all that. Nobody asks the question, what is this light that makes us see all these things? You know, when you ask that question, the things become insignificant. When you don't ask that question, well, now you are riveted only to the things. Your focus is fixed to the things. But you ask the question, what is it what is that light in which we are able to see these things? So you say these things, but you are not focused on the things anymore. Now you are a different person altogether. That person is called a scientist. So they were asking this question in 15th to 16th century in Europe. They were asking this question, what is this light? So it seems to move. Somebody thought there must be some time taken from one point to the other for the light to travel. So then the light must have a velocity. What could be that velocity? Very fast. Therefore you have to devise very special means of measuring the velocity. So they have selected 2 mountain peaks and fixed 2 big mirrors there and kept people on both spots and focused a battery light on one and goes to the other mountain peak reflected by the mirror and comes back. Use the alarm time watches and measure the time taken. Time is taken in only seconds or even fraction of a second, but still some time is taken. Therefore they came out with the velocity of light. The first experiments gave velocity in somewhat approximate value, but later refined experiments gave the exact value. So the science progresses. And then this light, it is traveling, seems to be traveling in a straight line. Fine. Now, what is the nature of this light? What is it? Is it a bundle of particles or is it a wave? So the discussion goes on, right? Are you willing to undertake such an inquiry? It is all about inquiry. You have to inquire and find out. You cannot substitute inquiry to be conducted by yourself with some ritual. You can't do that. You may blame me, I don't mind. In fact, I started loving when people point the finger at me. Because now I am becoming an important person. So I love it. But what about you? Okay, you blame me. I appreciate it, I welcome it. But what about you? You say you are studying Vedanta for the last 2 decades. So are you proud to say that? Or are you a bit shaken to say that? Therefore, so that means you have not known anything. Therefore, don't substitute anything in the place of inquiry. You do the inquiry and be self-reliant. I am not saying you come and worship me. That is, I am not saying that. If I say that, you should comply. I am not saying that. I am saying be self-reliant. If you are self-reliant, willing to help yourself, then the higher power also will help you. If you are not willing to help yourself, and if you hand over the responsibility of self-knowledge to some other person, calling that person Guru, you hand over to the Guru, and now you wash off your hands. Guru will take care. It is not going to work. So you inquire, what is that light in you? You see, once you started inquiring, that light in you, which enters the mental space, illuminating all the things of the mind. Through the mind, it enters the space of the sense organs. It enters the eyesight, makes all the forms appear, shine, enters the ears, the faculty of hearing, and at once all the sounds become meaningful. So that is the light, the inner light. And what is that light? What can be said about that light? You see, that light, you can call it a mass of pure awareness. In fact, what I am describing about that inner light can really be parallel to similar things that you can say about this outer light. You see that outer light, this outer light is not intermittent. It is homogeneous and it is pure. It's not that somewhere it is light, then dark, some light, then dark. It is not like that. It is one homogeneous. I don't want to say continuous. I am avoiding the word continuous because continuity means time. This time is a big danger, it is. So it is a homogeneous, uninterrupted mass of light, So similarly, inside that light of awareness is a homogeneous mass of pure awareness. You see, the light is pure in the sense that the things that are illuminated by the light, they could be pure or impure, both. So when you are walking on the road, the street lights are there, the road is completely illuminated, the road part is good, but on either side the sewers are no good. Good, no good. Everything is illuminated by that light, pure and impure. But in itself, it is not impure. Then is it pure? When it cannot be impure, it cannot be pure also in that sense. So it is beyond the categories of pure and impure. It is beyond good and evil. And then the things which are there, which come to light in that light of awareness, they change, ever change. Everything is changing. So the mind itself is changing, the sense organs are changing, and the objects of the mind and sense organs, the entire world, that means the entire world is changing. You see this? You look at this. So the knower is changing, mind is the knower, take like that. The known is changing. So everything is changing. Only that light of awareness which enters into the mental space, thereby illuminating the world, is not changing. It is changeless. Kutastha. You see, when you are part of the changeful, you suffer. Sometimes you are related, sometimes you are thrown into dumps. This is how we live, because we are part of the changeful. Suppose I am not part of the changeful, then what would I be? I become the witness of the changeful. And what kind of witness? Not some dumb witness, illuminating witness. Like this bulb, this light is the witness of this page. What kind of witness it is? It is the illuminating witness. Like, take it like that. Similarly, the entire mental space, I am witness to it, to the mental space and its content. Not only just witness, it is not that something else illuminates it and I am witnessing it. No. I illuminate it, and at once or at the same time I am witness to it. And I am changeless. You just imagine, it is like the eye of the cyclone, all around the cyclone, the bands of cyclone in which the tremendous winds are blowing, and the rain is pouring down, and then there are streaks of lightning, everything is going on, but in the center of the cyclone nothing is happening. It is very calm and quiet. Similarly, that the light of pure awareness, it is changeless, what we call kutastha. It is immutable. The mind is ever changeful, the body is ever changeful, the world is ever changeful. Everything that you like is changeful. Everything changes. Nothing is constant. Only that light of awareness is changeless, immutable. It is homogeneous. Everything else is all mixed things. They are all. So what you call Prithvi It is 50% Prithvi and another 50% the other four bhutas. Vaisheshyat tadvadas tadvadaha, Brahma Sutra. So, Prithvi is primarily Prithvi it is. And some apaha, some vayu, some agni, some akasha are also there in it. It is all mixed. Everything is mixed. Nothing is pure. Whereas that mass of awareness is homogeneous and it is uninterrupted, homogeneous. So, monolithic. Some of these expressions, they highlight the glory of that light. Solid, dense, rock-like, monolithic, immutable light of awareness. That is that Chit, that is that Atma. How are you going to think about it? You cannot think about it, you know. The mind cannot think about it. Thought cannot make it an object. So, because that light of awareness is free from the mental patterns of name and shape. Mind names and gives a form, or gives a form and names. This is the pastime of the mind. And all these mental patterns of name and shape, nama rupa, are utterly absent in that light. It just doesn't have any shape and name. So that light gives existence to the mind. And the mind gives existence to the body and the world. That is that light. Now I have to know that light, that source. It is the source of the mind and the world in that sequence. First it gives, it originates the mind, it is the origin of the mind, and through the mind it becomes the origin of the universe. And that is the source of everything. And now that is the God. The so-called God is that only. That is the God, that is the Ishvara, that is Bhagavan, whatever name you give to it. And how to know that? How to think about it? Smaranam. So in this case, to know that light, to know that Chit, is to be that Chit. That is the know. So tasya smritihi, knowing that, or contemplating on that, or recollecting that, or dwelling on that, is nothing but abiding in it. This is where Sri Ramakrishna's proverbial salt doll is quoted all the time. You can't replace, that is such an illustration, you cannot replace it with anything else. The proverbial salt doll. The salt doll wanted to find the depth of the ocean. And so asked the advice. Then somebody advised, you dive into the ocean, you will find the depth. Then it dived into the ocean. Then will it come back and report to you the depth of the ocean? No. As it dives into the ocean, it merges in the ocean. That salt doll. So you are that salt doll. You abide, you merge into that light. Just be. So, you see how to do that. You see the dive, these are all metaphorical expressions, you know. So you cannot find fault with metaphors. If you find fault with metaphors, then don't use metaphors and speak for 5 minutes. Come here and speak for 5 minutes without using metaphors. I will see. Okay? Therefore, there is a way of accomplishing this nishtha, abidance. Nishtha is abidance. So there is a way to accomplish it. The way is, first where are you? First, where are you abiding? Are you abiding in the world? A businessman, his abidance is in riches. A banker, he abides in his riches. Look at the rich people, rich and super rich. I don't know why they become so rich, what they will do all those riches. It is something, it is a tremendous burden, you know. So, what will you do with all these riches? So, very, very funny word it is. So, they abide in those riches. I mean, they dwell in those riches. That is where they dwell. Instead of sitting on a simple chair with a J-like backbone and remain healthy, they sit in a sofa that costs 100,000 rupees and become sick, and then employ a doctor who charges 10,000 rupees per visit. This is what rich people are. There cannot be any more miserable people than the rich, I tell you. Anyway, so therefore you first look at yourself. This is not about some ritual. Everything you push into the ritual and then become blind to the inquiry, then you won't reach anywhere. For God's sake, whatever rituals you want to do them. I am not coming in the way. Only check the motive. What is the motive of your ritual? Check that. If the motive is not compatible with Vedantic learning, then give up the ritual. So you should do that minimum, the minimum qualification, you know. Anyway, so you have to make this inquiry. So you have to abide somewhere or the other. You have to abide somewhere or the other. So where am I abiding? You look at a rich guy, a businessman, he abides in his riches. This is the question. What is your bedstead? That is the question. So the bedstead, you lie down on that. So what is it for you? As a metaphor, I am asking that question, okay? So what is it? Your bank balance, or your properties and flats, plots, etc. Is that your bedstead? Then you are in trouble, sir. Then where do you abide? In pleasures of the world? Take care. Don't do that. You will become sick soon. Sooner than later. In fact, sooner than expected. You see, people believe that they will live long. They are not going to live long. They are going to die sooner than expected, I tell you. Time flies. Therefore, so don't abide in pleasures. Better avoid them. Sit in some cozy place and go on consuming tasty food. Prepare it very elaborately or get it prepared elaborately. Employ somebody who prepares well and tasty and go on consuming it. And then bhikshaushadham bhujyatam. Bhikshancha aushadhancha bhujyatam. Bhikshacha aushadhancha bhujyatam. Bhiksha as aushadham bhujyatam nahi. Bhikshacha aushadhancha bhujyatam. पहले भिक्षा का भोजन करो, बाद में औषध का सेवन करो. What is that? Don't do that mistake. Don't do that mistake. Never do that. So that is not where you should abide. Then where do you abide? In the body? Do you abide in the body? I think so. Let me be very fair and very frank about it. People abide in the body. All these religious heads and people who are supposed to guide the public, what model they present before the people? They present the model of Asuri Upanishad. Glorification of the physical body. What is so glorious about the physical body? You know what is it going to become? And if I quote the Bhagavatam verse about the prognosis of this body, what is going to happen to this body, you will be red in the face, I tell you. So, what will happen to it? Therefore, you want to glorify this mass of bones and flesh. You want to glorify this. What is glorious about it? So, you don't glorify it. You keep it healthy, fit. Like any machine, you have to keep fit. So, keep it fit and healthy and ignore it. Leave it in its place. Keep it clean and leave it in its place. Don't identify with it. Don't abide in it. If you see, this is the very first step in Vedanta. The Viveka. Viveka. What is Viveka? Don't abide in riches, don't abide in pleasures. That is Viveka. Sorry. That is not viveka, that is vairagya. Don't abide in riches, don't abide in pleasures, that is vairagya. Don't glorify the body, don't identify with the mind, that is viveka. Without viveka and vairagya, they are the qualifications required for Vedanta. Shall I tell you one thing? Vedanta doesn't require any ritual as qualification. It just doesn't require. Sadhana chatushtaya. Sadhana means qualification. They are not rituals. Just by doing rituals you don't become qualified to knowledge. So, you want to study mathematics. What is the qualification? Daily 2 hours, morning 1 hour, evening whatever, run, jog. That will qualify you for mathematics study. Who told you? That is not how to understand the sadhana. Qualification. What is the qualification? Vairagya. Don't abide in riches and pleasures. Viveka. Don't abide in the body. Start with the body. You perseveringly deny the identification with the body. Don't trouble the body. That is not what I am saying. Keep the body fit. Only to get out of the body. That's why you keep the body fit. Like in America, when they vacate the house or sell the house, they make it clean, keep it perfectly fit for somebody else to occupy immediately and then vacate. In India, when they vacate a house or sell a house, they make it as dirty and useless as possible and then vacate it or sell it. What a thinking. You should follow the American model. See, the other day I was in a town in America and I befriended one elderly person who is moving from that town to another town, and he is selling his house. He is put it in the market and he is getting it repaired, making it spruced up. Everywhere repairing old bulbs, removes and put new bulbs. I tell you, are selling it or you are purchasing it? I tell I am selling it. Then why do you do all these things? Without doing these things you cannot sell it. In India we put all the bulbs, remove and put in the bag and take it. Similarly, if you want to get out of the body identification, you have to keep the body fit. Therefore, go to the yoga class. Do yoga. Bend. What bends well ends well. So, do yoga. Do exercise. Go for a walk. Jump. Roll. Do all kinds of things. Okay. And keep the body fit, hale and healthy, so that you can give up identification with the body. You can grow out of body identification, or you can live mostly beyond the threshold of body consciousness. That is what you have to do. Then stop identifying with the mind. So here comes the difficulty. Up to body it is not difficult. But if it is difficult for body also, then you better learn something else instead of Vedanta. Vedanta is not going to help. Learn some MBA, etc., and do some business. So, therefore, so when you should not identify with the mind. That is the more difficult thing. So how to abide in the source, that is what I am supposed to tell. Now, till now what I have told, where you should not abide, that I have told. The entire Shastra is like that. Once you stop abiding where you should not abide, you already find yourself in the source, which is the Atma. That is how it is done. Therefore, so you have to understand that this person, this is the most difficult thing to explain. More than that, it is the most difficult thing to impress the people, because people in their folly have taken a persona, have created a person or persona, created it. They have built it and they identify with it very badly, and they take themselves to be it, and now they are stuck with this persona and they want to get Atma-jnana. You see, like I am a person and I want to become rich. And now what, before becoming rich, I am a person who wants to become rich. And after becoming rich, I am a person who is rich. Okay? Come to Atma-jnana. I am a person who wants to gain Atma-jnana. And then I want to gain Atma-jnana by remaining the same person. Like I want to gain the riches by remaining the same person. I want to remain the person. So person is what? Swami TV, a Telugu guy, coming from living in Secunderabad, belonging to a particular sampradaya, a caste, creed, race, religion, gender, and old, and lost many of the teeth. So that is the person. And I want to be that person. I don't want that person to be disturbed. And now that person should get this crown called Atma-jnana. You got the point? This is how they pursue Atma-jnana. Arey kya bhai? You should know better than that. I don't know how to describe this pitiable situation of Atma-jnana. I don't know how to describe it. You know what is Atma-jnana? Atma-jnana is a total dissolution of that person. You are not that person. That person is not real. It is an entirely a construct of the mind, the person. That's why when the mind is quiet, the person is not there. The mind goes to sleep, the person is not there. The person is totally a construct of the ignorant mind. So don't ever identify with that person. Be a witness to that person. Be a witness to the entire consciousness, the waking consciousness, the moment. And the central point of that waking consciousness is this person. The entire waking consciousness is moving around this person, which is an integral part of that waking consciousness, which is a part of that mind itself. Jiva is a mind product, not Atma. Therefore, that person, you realize you are not that person. How to realize you are not that person? How to realize? Look at all the elements which make that person, which put that person in place. Examine the construct of the person. So the person is constructed by the body with a birth and death. The person is constructed by the caste, creed, race, religion, identifications, and all kinds of gotra, this, that, all kinds of funny things you put together and make a person out of it. Dismantle all of that. Dismantle. So you say, Name kulam, name gotram, name mata, name pita, name janma, name mrityuhu. You say all that, name gender. And you say, name varnaha, varnashramachara dharmaha. You say that. And you say, no desires for me, no fears, because all they belong to the person. Dismantle the person. Don't strengthen the person. If you strengthen the person and at the same time you are studying Vedanta, it is like you are doing exercises in the gym and at the same time eating unhealthy food. So when you realize that you are not the person, if I am not the person, then what am I? I am the pure and calm witness. Calm, because the person is full of thoughts, like a beehive, disturbed beehive. Whereas witness, pure, means the sukha dukkha, punya papa, dharma dharma of the person do not touch that witness. I am the pure and calm witness. And that witnessing awareness is my very being. That is my soul. That is my Sammam bonam, that is what I am. Abide in that. When you do that, when you become a witness to the person, when you dismantle the person, become a witness to the entire movement of consciousness, you are already in the embrace of that pure, awareful being. That is the source of everything, and that is called Nishtha. I have to take a breath now. Therefore, so you have to do it. In your daily life, you have to do it. A lot of understanding should go into it. Like all that I have described in the last 5 minutes about the person, its unreal nature, it is totally fictitious. Once you know that, the person dissolves. That is the understanding. And then to be, just be is important. I tell you one thing. Doing and knowing, they are two separate departments. Don't confuse between the two. Doing is not same as knowing, knowing is not same as doing. Doing is time, in time. Knowing is timeless. Okay? Doing is Prakruti. Prakruti Purusha Viveka Yoga, that 13th chapter. Did you study Gita? So, no, we have studied 5 times, we finished, now we are doing 6th time. Feel like doing it. What did you study 13th chapter of Gita? What did you study? I say you did not study anything. It is not going round and round and in circles. That is not the study. So doing is in Prakruti. Why Prakruti is called Prakruti? Prakrishtam Krutihi. It is Prakrutihi. It is all doing and doing only. And Purusha, there is no Kruti in Purusha, the Viveka. Therefore, all doing is in Purusha, in Prakriti. None in Purusha. Purusha is Chaitanya, the Atma. None. All work, all movement is in the heart. None in the light. Where you are all moving, the light also is moving? No. So Purusha Prakriti. So that distinction, you should clearly understand that distinction, number one. Number two, being and doing, they are two different things. Being and becoming, really. Knowing and doing, being and becoming. You see, they are two different things. You don't become Atma, you be Atma. Suppose you are not Atma, then you have to become Atma. Suppose you are already Atma, then you be what you are. You be, just be. Being, just be. That is important. To be, just be is important. A person telephoned me and asked me, Swamiji, suggest a sadhana to me. A person from Florida. I said, Amma, just be. That is your sadhana. I said. That's it? Yes. Okay. So, after 2-3 years, again the person telephoned to me and said, Swamiji, I love this sadhana very much. Okay. So, that is the sadhana. Just be. Can you? Can you? So you think about it. Just be. That is the most important thing. You need not ask anything. You need not do anything. Just be. Now it is a very lazy thing, you know. Just be is very lazy. It is not lazy. It is apparently lazy. This apparently lazy thing, lazy way of spending time by just being. Today morning 30 minutes, what you did, you just be. That is what you did. Just be. There is no doing in it. Apparently lazy, but not lazy, really lazy. This is highly regarded in India. This is the land of Vedanta, you know. This just be is highly regarded. It means, what it means, just be, meditation. It means as long as you abide as the pure being, you are free from the obsession to do something or the other. That obsession is gone. Not only that, you look into your heart, you see, it is not important whether you agree with me or not. I care two hoots whether you agree with me or not. I tell you. It is not important. You look into your heart and see whether what is being said by the speaker makes any sense to you. So, therefore, you look into your heart and see how the movement of that consciousness you see. The consciousness is somewhat tense. There is a tension, like a violin string. The consciousness is somewhat tense. Tense with what? Tense with what next? What next? This what next is the problem. What next means now you are caught in the net of time, you know. Net of time. Okay? So, when you are caught in the net of time, you know what next? Death is the next, nothing else. Because all those who are caught in the net of time, they are hurtling fast towards death. So, in being, there is no time. Being is timeless. Doing is time. Simple physics, I tell you. Unless there is some movement, the parameter called time doesn't exist. There must be movement. There must be doing, then only time. In being, there is no time. In being, there is no what next. This what next tension, you are free. When you just be, you are free from that. So, and you become free from the anxieties of the mind, because this what next produces anxiety, conscious or unconscious. Most of the anxiety is conscious only. People are anxious. Yeah? So, people are anxious, you know, so they come to Vedanta camp. And how many days you come? We will see. As the text progresses, we will see. No, you fix the date now itself. Means what? Because after the Vedanta camp, next. It is the next, you know. That is how people are. No, Swamiji, I want to study Ishavasya Upanishad with you. Come, we will start. So how long it will take? Look at that. Suppose I tell you how long will it take. Then what we will do? No, after Ishavasya I have to go to my uncle's home. Something. So after Ishavasya he will go to uncle's place and do something. Then what Ishavasya will do? Arey, this Vedanta ko tamasha bana diya. You want to become free from what next? That is Vedanta. Vedanta is not just complete some semester and run and do something else. Then do business. Therefore, when you just be, then there is no hurry to do things. Then there is no tension. What next? And you become free from the anxieties created by the mind. Then the mind becomes quiet. The mind becomes quiet. And when there is no what next, and there is only being, the mind becomes quiet. And therefore, in that quietude, you see, to put it metaphorically, in that quietude, Bhagavan will speak from within. So as long as you are speaking, Bhagavan won't speak. You stop speaking, Bhagavan will speak. So that Atma, you will realize it. That is what I mean. You will realize it. You will realize your Purna Swarupa. Therefore, you have to be. So that is the Atmanishtha. You see, the main obstacle for Atmanishtha is the mind. Because the mind is caught in obsessions of work. Karma. You see? Karma. You see, people, they come to study Vedanta, you know what they do? A certain length of time they devote to study Vedanta. It is a great laudable effort. Certain time they devote for Vedanta. Laudable, you know. And so having devoted time, you know what they do? They devote themselves to rituals. So go on doing rituals. And then when this ritual psychology takes hold of you, study of Upanishads also become a ritual. So Kathopanishad ho gaya, now mundaka banana hai, wo bhi ho gaya, now kya gana karna. So like that you convert the whole thing into a ritual. So what is the ritual? First elaborate prayers, Guru Stotram, this is Stotram, that is Stotram. The same blessed thing repeated hundreds and hundreds of times. You have to appreciate their patience in doing that. So they are not tired of repeating the same blessed thing without asking one question, why am I repeating this, what is its meaning? Why am I, no question is ever asked, repeat and repeat and repeat. And then, take Katha, Kathopanishad take, then read the mantra and the Pratipadartha, Tattvavidananda, like in our high school days. So in the question paper, a poem will be given. Write the poem, the beginning will be given. Write the poem, it's a Pratipadartha, meaning of every word, and Dandanvayam or Tattvavidananda, the meaning. You write 10 marks. And we used to get all the 10. We were experts in this poem manipulation, you know. We used to get all the 10 marks. The Telugu teacher used to appreciate, hey, you did a good job. You do that. Kathopanishad, you do that. Kathopanishad ho gaya. Then Mundaka ko banavo. Pratipadartha Tatparya. Monday. The mind must learn. The mind is the obstacle. The mind must learn a lesson. What is the lesson? Beyond the moving mind. Mind is moving, you know. Beyond the moving mind, so there is the background of awareness. That mind should learn. Mind should not become obsessed with doing this, doing that, grabbing this, grabbing that, covering this, covering that. That kind of obsession has no value. The mind must learn that beyond the moving mind, there is the background of awareness, that light, which is immutable. Okay? And the mind should respect that pure awareness in which there is no movement. The mind should respect. When the mind develops that respect, that love for that immutable background awareness, that mind, very wise mind it is, very enlightened mind, it keeps quiet. It is like the moon covering up the sun, that is the solar eclipse. Same way, the moon of the mind covers up the sun of Atma. That is the eclipse which is happening here. That is the real eclipse. Outside there is no eclipse. Dhanachanna drishtihi, dhanachanna markam, etc. Your eyesight is prevented by this moon. Moon doesn't stop, moon doesn't cover the sun. Moon will be evaporated if it goes anywhere near the sun. Moon will not cover the sun. Moon will cover your eyesight. But you think that moon covers the sun. The sun is eclipsed. Sun is never ever eclipsed. You should know it. You should update some of your almanacs. You should update, I tell you. Sun is never eclipsed. The sun of Atma should not be eclipsed by the moon of the mind. Moon should not, the mind should not do that. There is only real eclipse here. There is only eclipse here. There is no eclipse outside. This eclipse should not happen. The mind should respect the background awareness, and it should stop obscuring the sun of Atma. It should stop obscuring. So then you abide, then the mind becomes quiet. So this you have to cultivate. This value, these are the values of Vedanta. What is the value of Vedanta? Value system, you know. What is the primary value in the value system of Vedanta? The mind should learn to remain quiet, so that the abidance in the Atma takes place automatically. So this is how you abide in that pure being. Just be, and see what happens. There is a tremendous transformation in you, and you become less and less anxious. The anxiety will disappear. You become very sober, calm and quiet. You become truthful. You will stop telling lies. You stop gossiping, and you will stop hating others. All ill will vanish away. Such a tremendous transformation in you will happen. The transformation finally takes you to godliness. That is how the abidance helps. So tatra smrutihi, tasya smrutihi, tatra drudhaiva nishtha. I think I am done with the verse now. We will say one time, because I have spent enough time on that verse, which is having 8 topics. I tell you, 8 topics I have covered. Don't count number of verses, count number of topics. Satpratyayah kinnu vihaya santam hridyesha chinta rahito hrudakyaha katham smaramastamameyamekam tasya smrutistatra drudhaiva nishtha We will say one time, because I have spent enough time on that verse, which is having 8 topics. I tell you, 8 topics I have covered. Don't count number of verses, count number of topics. Satpratyayah kinnu vihaya santam hridyesha chinta rahito hrudakyaha katham smaramastamameyamekam tasya smrutistatra drudhaiva nishtha mrityunjayam mrityubhiyashritanam aham matir mrityumupaiti purvam athasvabhavadamruteshu teshu katham punarmrityudhiyo vakashaha. So the first verse is obviously Jnana Yoga. You can see that, right? It is Jnana Yoga. This verse is Bhakti Yoga. So the Maharshi, by putting Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga side by side, is only trying to convey a message that Jnana and Bhakti are not separate. In Hindu philosophy, an unfortunate thinking has entered. The thinking is Bhakti is different from Jnana. That is the thinking. It entered sometime. And so in the academics also we see that this is the saint of Bhakti. Kabir is the Bhakti saint. Now look at Kabir's poems. Look at just one poem. Is it Bhakti or Jnana? You see, very difficult to separate like that. It is wrong to separate like that. Therefore, this notion that Bhakti is different from Jnanam, and then Bhakti is superior to Jnanam. There are many religious acharyas who propagate this kind of a message. And so it is a wrong message. Bhakti is jnanam and jnanam is bhakti. Gita verse you may want to remember. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yascha asmi tattvataha. Tattvato jnatva tato mam tattvato jnatva vishate tadanantaram. It is bhakti and jnanam, jnanam and bhakti, bhakti and jnanam, all it is just the same. Therefore, this wrong notion that bhakti and jnanam are two different things should be kept aside. Once you know well, there is love in your heart. The love is bhakti and the understanding is jnana. Understanding, not the embellishment of the brain cells. Okay, understanding. Understanding is here. Okay? Accumulation of knowledge is here. Here knowledge doesn't accumulate. Here it accumulates. And accumulation doesn't help you. Understanding helps. Therefore, understanding is jnana. Love is bhakti. And out of understanding comes love. When there is love, you understand. So they go together. So mrityubhiya mrityunjayam ashritanam. Not ashritanam, shritanam. You can say shritanam. Even if you put a, doesn't matter. Sandhi will take care of that. But I have seen the Bhashya by Kapali Shastri. In that he took it as shritanam. That is enough. You don't need ashritanam. So there is the fear of death. There is the fear of death. You see, death means many things. There is fear of death only as long as you do not understand the nature of death. Only because we do not know death properly, there is fear of death. You see, death of what? We accumulate money and we will lose it. That is death. Losing the money is the inevitable. And you only so all accumulation, it ends up in disintegration. So that is the law of nature. And so there will be death of riches. Riches will be dead. It will be gone. Then pleasures will be gone. The body itself will be gone. The life will be gone. So therefore, the death is not just of the body alone. Having done 1,000 things, you have to do another 1,000 things. And having done those 1,000 things also, you will have to do another 1,000 things. Like that, the accumulation process goes on and on till the person falls dead. That is how the thing is. And what all we accumulate, we will lose. That because everything is transient. Death is written on the face of everything. On the face of riches, death is written. On the face of pleasures, death is written. If you stand before the mirror, you are standing before the mirror. What all you see in the mirror will die. You see the teeth in the mirror, you will lose them. You are supposed to lose them. You see the hair, you will lose them. You will lose it. You see glassy cheeks, they will become wrinkled. You will lose them. You see like honeybee, like black hair, you will, all of it will become white. And you see eyes, they lose sight. You see ears, they will stop hearing. I tell you, the death is written all over, I tell you. So there is the fear of death. Why fear of death? Why fear of death? Because there is a desire for continuity. Suppose there is no desire for continuity, there will be no fear of death. What a beautiful thing it is. So there is a desire for continuity, therefore there is the fear of death. And for Vaidikas, there is a very peculiar fear of death. They have to perform some more rituals. They have done already many rituals, now some more are pending. After doing 100, some more are pending. After doing 500, some more are pending. After doing 1000 rituals, some more are pending. The rituals will always be pending. Very amazing thing it is. They will always be pending. And so the person is afraid of death. Because if he dies, the continuity of rituals will be stopped. The rich people are also like that. The business people. If I die, the business has to continue bringing in more and more profits, and whether the sons will do it properly or not, whether this business house will continue or not, it will. Therefore, they are afraid of that. My God, people are obsessed with this continuity of a bank account, continuity of a name. Name should continue, and therefore. You put a stone plaque where your name is written. Why stone plaque? Why not put on a piece of paper, write it and stick there? No, continuity. So name should continue. Family should continue. Suppose you get married. Suppose someone gets married and no children. You are blessed, you know. No children means this elaborate problem of bringing up these children and all that. So all that is not there. You are blessed. No. The family should continue. The family tree should continue. But you come to a Vedanta, now you want Atmajnanam or family tree? No, we want both. Really? We want both. So we will study Kathopanishad and do ritual for family tree continuing, and we study Kathopanishad. This will give Atmajnanam, that will continue family tree. Yeah. What a tremendous contradiction, I tell you. The monstrosity of ignorance is unimaginable. What kind of... You don't even know that you are contradicting yourself. What a pitiable state of things, I tell you. So you want to know the self and you want to continue family tree also. So come to study Kathopanishad. Kathopanishad is the whipping boy for everybody. Everybody wants to... They think that the very simple thing it is. If you study Kathopanishad well, you become liberated, no one here. So, therefore, the death may put an end to bank account. So, therefore, people live in continuity due to ignorance. Due to ignorance, they live in continuity. But the fact is, they live in the present. The truth is, they live in the present, but due to ignorance, they live in continuity, and therefore they are afraid of death. Because death doesn't do it to anything to the present. Death cannot do anything to the present. Present is presence, which is Brahma. Whereas continuity is the myth put in place by ignorance, and hence it is bound to die. And therefore, so when you stop living in continuity, means every morning and evening look at the bank account, and all the time look at the son, daughter, and then whether they will do Shraddha or not. Why do you worry? It is there, look out. Why do you worry? So after I die, what will happen to the body? That is not your problem, it is their problem. So like that. So you see, when I tell you, I conclude by saying, only when the mind is caught in the net of continuity, there is the fear of death. If the mind is not caught in the net of continuity, there is no fear of death. We'll think about it. Please think about it. We'll continue this death. Out of fear of death, what should we do? How to surrender to Ishvara? How bhakti helps us to come out of this fear of death? And then connect it with the jnanam. So we will examine the second verse, which consists of quite a few topics in itself. These verses, see, the entire vision is presented in 40 verses. Now you can see how poignant the verses are. So now you see, the moment you don't count verses, because now you count verses, second verse. But count topics, death is the topic. Fear of death. Then surrender. These are all topics. They are coming one after the other. So count topics. So now I have finished 9th topic. Tomorrow morning I will start the 10th topic. Okay. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnameva. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.